welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Proper Picks weekly recap of the best bets from last week. We'll preview this week's upcoming here shortly. Quick recap: we go 7-6-1 plus 1.55 units for the week. Great Saturday, considering, and the NFL is just a big dud. We had one baseball play. If you look over to the left, we had the over in the New York Yankees-Pittsburgh Pirates game, over 7.5. This was a no sweat. 14-2 final. The Yankees just throttled them. Probably, as you can probably tell, we're winding down on baseball bets. I'm getting very picky just because all the attention has shifted over to football already, and it's happening quickly. College football, we go 5-3-1. If you look over to the left, we've had 2 3-game parlays. I put those in the college losses just because we did have pro in the top one, but they're pretty much all going to be college-based. So I just throw that in the college football recap at 5-3-1 plus 3.9 units. We took Florida plus 10.5 against Tennessee. This was a good ball game. We got a little lucky to get the backdoor cover, but there was a little here and there unluck going around in the late third, early fourth quarter. We were in this ball game most of the way. Collect the 1 unit pick up there. We had Bama minus 40. When you take the 40-point line like we did, you have to really consider the backups coming in. Can you get a score or not give up a score in that scenario? They put Milroe in like 2 minutes left in the third quarter, and it took them almost a full quarter to get our touchdown. But Bama ends up getting us the cover in the fourth. We had USC minus 6. This was a tough one. To me, Oregon State looked like the better team all game. USC sneaks it out and wins 17-14. We lose 1.1 units there. Arkansas plus 2. For a unit, it was a push. 23-21 loss to Texas A&M. And it particularly brutal. They're driving down to score, and he does the Superman jump thing, and he fumbles it. They take it 90 yards to the house. They kind of gifted Texas A&M that win there. And when we jumped up 14-0, I felt real good about it. And, it was a good ball game. They couldn't really close it out at the end. We had LSU minus 7 first quarter. For a unit. They were playing New Mexico, just beat the brakes off of them. That was a good scoop up there. Bama Vanderbilt over 13.5 first quarter. The tricky thing about first quarter overs is, especially in this game, is that we weren't really betting this for the Vandy. We weren't saying both teams were going to score a lot of points. We needed Bama to score 2 tutties quickly, and they punted on their first drive. So it had me nervous there about 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Would we get our shot? The good thing was the defense was just stifling on Vanderbilt. So they didn't really have an opportunity to run any clock. Bama ends up getting 14 points for the first quarter. Utah minus 9 in the first half, 1 unit play. They just killed Arizona State. Didn't really want to play with the whole game line, worrying about backdoor covers. But like I said, 5-3-1 plus 3.9 units for the day. Solid. We will take it. NFL, I'm debating on whether or not I should just be kind of limiting my plays here in the NFL until I can get a little better hold of it. Not off to the best start. 1-3 for wasn't really the day because the Pitt Cleveland game was on Thursday, but for the weekend, minus 2.75 units. Pittsburgh Cleveland under 39. Everybody and their brother was probably on this under. I don't say we piggybacked. I threw a half unit on it. I just felt good that it was going to be a running game. Chubb versus Harris. Quarterbacks are both terrible. But of course, in these weird games, weird stuff happens. I believe there was 2 minutes left when the over actually hit. So we were close, but it didn't look good. I don't like seeing 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. And again, we're taking under 40 points. Chiefs minus 6.5. I don't even know what to say about this game. I can't. That's what I mean about the NFL needing to limit it a little bit until I can see a little more action out of these guys. Lose to the Colts 20-17. Colts get demolished last week by the Jags. Chiefs are coming in on cloud 9. And the worry was, as long as Jonathan Taylor doesn't beat you up, there's no way you can lose this game. I believe Taylor had like 85, maybe 86 yards rushing, baffling me. We take the 2.2 unit L there. Ravens minus 2.5 against the Patriots. They win by 11. Did it kind of what we expected. We talked about it last week. I just didn't think the Patriots had the firepower to keep up with the Ravens. And the game was close for a while, but eventually Ravens pull away. And then Raiders minus 2 against the Titans on the road. They lose by 2. And really, that game wasn't as close as the score predicted. Titans were in control the whole way. I was really surprised that the Raiders 0-3 start. I was almost betting against the fact that they wouldn't go 0-3. So yeah, for the week, 7-6-1. It's a profitable week, not a big profit, but winning. And we'll slide over to the preview for next week's bets. Alrighty, so we'll slide into the proper picks best bets for this week. If you look over on the left side, we've got the all plays column that's tracking all the records. We're at 516, 593, and 8, up 55.4 units lifetime. College football right now, 18, 13, and 1, plus 12.6 units. In the NFL, we're 4 and 11, minus 8.14 units. And then baseball still live, 105 and 86, minus 0.85 units. Baseball's been just real meddling all year. We got to get going in the NFL, but I'm not trying to force it. If you look over on the future side, we've got the Bama and Natty 3-unit prop bet. Auburn over 6.5 wins, 3-unit bet. Kansas City plus 900 on the money line for the Super Bowl. Jags under 6 wins for a unit, and Steelers under 7.5 wins. And how I feel on these, Bama, obviously we got a good shot there. Auburn's going to be very tough after seeing these first 4 weeks. Kansas City, I think they'll be in the playoffs. They'll be there around at the end. We're just going to have to see, more talent or more developing out of that. Jags is looking like it might be tough. I believe 2-1 right now. We're dodging 5 wins the rest of the way. I feel confident about the Steelers. Record schedule is not very easy once we get going here in about 3 or 4 weeks. They got a lot of tough ball games coming up. And sliding into this week for the college football slate, we've got Wake Forest plus 7 for a unit, and we also took them on the money line plus 215 for a half a unit. It's kind of interesting how this week's college slate lines up. I've got some dogs here that I really feel like are going to win these ball games. I just think the public gives teams like Florida State, who Wake Forest has got this week, way too much credit when they get off to good starts. I think they're almost disrespecting Wake Forest and what they have. Sam Hartman is a very good quarterback. We've kind of been on Wake Forest, I think, 2 or 3 weeks now ago, since we've started the college football slate. I just think 7 is ridiculous. When I saw it, I thought this game would be Wake Forest, maybe plus 1 or 2 on the road, but possibly a favorite, and we're going to get a full touchdown here, and I fully believe Wake can win this ball game. So we sprinkle a little on the money line, half unit play there. And then we're going to take Kentucky plus 7 and run the plus 220 money line for a half unit. Kentucky plus 7 will be for the full unit. Same deal here. I don't know what Vegas thinks about Jackson Dart and Ole Miss, but I pay very close attention to the SEC. And I have not seen anything. I heard a guy say the other day, well, maybe they're holding Jackson Dart back a little until they get to SEC play. Well, if they're doing that, they're doing that, I guess. But nothing this far has shown me that Kentucky can't win this ball game. Rodriguez is supposed to be coming back this week, but they've still got Cavassier Smoke running the ball. Levis has looked solid. I don't think Kentucky has wowed in these non-conference games, but they've already been down to Gainesville and got a win. And Ole Miss is not a tough venue to play in. I'm just going to be honest with you. Lane Kiffin's over there whining about their student section leaving and not having the crowd noise. I'm sure it'll be jumping this week because Kentucky's coming to town. They're a top 10 team. But I feel like Kentucky feels a little slighted in the fact that they're always mentioned on these shows this week and last week about not really deserving to be in the top 10. And they've got a very solid defense. I look for it to be a little lower scoring than most people think the Lane Kiffin game should be, and I look for Kentucky to get the win there. We're taking Georgia minus 28 against Missouri. Not a huge, big favorite guy. Just is what it is. I watched the entire Missouri game last week just because my Tigers were playing them, and they not only are my Tigers terrible, but Missouri looked awful. And that's against Auburn. I can't imagine Georgia coming off a really ugly game against Kent State. I imagine Kirby's been just dogging them all week. These boys are going to be chomping at the bit to go out and just lay the hammer down. The defense, to me, I'd be shocked if Missouri gets 10. If they get 14, 17, that 28 could get a little dicey, but we could still get there. I look for this to be 45-7, 52-7 type ball game, somewhere in that range. I just think it's a massive blowout. We're going to have a unit on that. And then we've got Texas A&M plus 3.5 for a unit and Texas A&M plus 150 for half a unit. You can kind of see the theme this week. Once again, I think this is being undervalued. I'm not a huge believer in A&M and thinking they're going to be in the playoff or they're going to win the SEC. But I just think what I've seen out of Mississippi State so far, what I've seen out of A&M, I'd have A&M as a favorite. And so I can get 3 in the hook plus some dog money line odds on the win. We're going to take it. It's not, once again, like Mississippi State is a very daunting environment to go into either. It's not the craziest, home field advantage. They do, ring the cowbells for 4 straight hours in your face, which I guess is annoying. But, I see Jimbo and them, trending up. Nice win last week against Arkansas. Did they deserve it? I don't know. I don't think this will be some massive blowout in A&M's favor, but I'm looking A&M here 28-20, 31-23 type ball game, which would obviously get us the cover and the win. Sliding over to the NFL, I'm going to take the Bills -3 for a unit, just bounce back spot here. They kind of, I'm not saying they deserved that game against Miami, but they had an opportunity to go down there and get a big W, kind of laid an egg in the fourth quarter. Dolphins are good. I'll give them that. The thing about this is that now they're playing the Ravens. I also think the Ravens are pretty good, but I don't know. Josh Allen just doesn't seem like the Bills are going to lose many times this year back-to-back, and to get him at only a field goal feels pretty nice. Nice little bounce-back spot. I got the Cardinals plus 1.5 for a unit against Carolina. I'm basing this strictly just off feel. I think the world saw Carolina beat the Saints last week. This game's in Carolina. The Cardinals have not looked amazing. They kind of stole a win from the Raiders, and they lost last week by 8 to the Rams. I just think this might be the week where Kyler Murray gets going a little bit. Marquise Brown had a huge game last week. They need to get their run game going a little more, but Carolina's defense isn't a slouch. I just think that the Cardinals will come in. This is probably close. I'm thinking, 28-24, 31-28, but I like the Cardinals to win here, and we're getting some points, so we'll take it. Also dropped a half unit 3-game parlay. It's plus 568 on the money line. Wake plus 7. Kentucky plus 7, and Georgia -28. My 3 favorite plays from Saturday. Like I said, just trying to play strategic, collect some units, not trying to force anything. I dialed back just to 2 games in the NFL this week. I want to watch some more. Hope everybody's having a great week. Any comments, leave them for me. I want to know what everybody's taking. If you've got, any sleepers that I haven't found, let me know. Make sure to follow me at the Proper Picks Pod on Twitter. We'll be dropping all of our added plays, free live bets, anything like that. Hope everybody has a great week.